Hello, I'm Adam, your chief Foley artist at BlampCo Incorporated, where having a nice day is a privilege, not a right. And welcome to Adam Blampier Fantasy Books, where I take infamous missed booking opportunities to show that I can do them better, 'cause I'm a smartass. This time around, thanks to the commission on my Patreon of the wonderful and charming Leath the Squirrel, we're looking at the official wrestling retirement of Mick Foley. But Adam, I hear you cry, which fucking Juan? Because Mrs. Mick Foley's baby Mick Foley has had so many retirements and unretirements that his attempts to extricate himself from falling off high things onto hard things has been downright Shakespearean. Shall I retire thee on a summer's slam, despite nostalgia money in thy name, before your body withers like old ham? Yea, in the year 2000 tried the game to send thee packing from cell most hellish, yet thee did main event the next month's show, departing once again to be commish, then fired, yet to return 'gainst RKO. You put over young Randall, then to leave, returning to put over Edge in kind. Thy heel turn did make all our hearts aggrieve, then left again, to TNA resigned. Although we wish you could eternal stay, pro wrestling loves to watch you walk away. Adam. I didn't think you were going to join in. Terry, thank you so much. Whee! And if that doesn't tell you everything about the history of Mick Foley, you're a fucking Philistine. Mick Foley has found a permanent place within the hearts of the audience for a number of reasons. He was the spiritual successor to Dusty Rhodes and the silhouette of the slightly out-of-shape working man who rose to the top of his industry through sheer determination and force of personality. He was an unrelenting masochist who would put his body through inhuman amounts of pain just to make us feel something in this goddamn world. And he was a big cuddly teddy bear who loved Christmas and childlike exuberance, but if you crossed him, could transform into an unrelenting demon born of barbed wire blood and treasured bits of your head being ripped off your head. He made his bones as Cactus Jack, specializing in horrific violence in the 90s. He was in Japan, he was in ECW, he was in WCW, transferred to WWE where he became Mankind, a sort of wailing psychopath and one of the earliest heralds of the Attitude Era's shift into decidedly more adult territory. After years of toil, perhaps still the most iconic bump in the history of professional wrestling. Fucking hell. He won the WWE Championship in a moment that lives on many people's Mount Rushmore of Monday Night Raw memories. A year later, no doubt a result of too many chair shots to the head, The Rock, and flat back bumps on concrete, Foley would be retired by Triple H at No Way Out 2000 when he fell through the Hell in a Cell. Oh no, be careful. Came back for the infamously shit WrestleMania 2000 main event where he teamed with Linda McMahon. Oh no, be careful. And then actually did stay out of the ring for 4 years, returning for a brilliant feud with legend killer Randy Orton, aka the best Randy Orton, culminating in a hardcore match at Backlash 2004 that is our first contender for what maybe should have been his swan song. It's a goddamn perfect match if that's the kind of thing you're into. It legitimized Orton's gimmick and Foley mostly stayed gone for another 2 years. Till of course it was time to repeat the magic almost verbatim in what really should have been his retirement match, the classic at WrestleMania 22 against Edge, ending with an all-time great flaming table spot. Mick, for fuck's sake, will you please be careful? However, after that match, Mick would stay around, turn heel in a way that no one really wanted, because it's Mick Foley. He's history's most winsome beanbag, and then have a lackluster feud with Ric Flair over Melina. He was then fired. He kissed Mr. McMahon's ass. He came back at next year's Vengeance to fight for the WWE title in a match that no one remembers because it's the Chris Benoit show. He vanished after the 2008 Rumble to skip over to TNA and unforgivably win the world title for some reason. And somehow, in true Foley fashion, managed to retire fucking twice, even from TNA, losing a loser leaves TNA match against Jeff Jarrett and then a last man standing match against Ric Flair in the same year. Year of our Lord, 2010. 2 years after that, Foley returned at the 2012 Royal Rumble in preparation for what would likely be his final run and a planned match for SummerSlam against Dean Ambrose that would also probably have been his official retirement match, but tragically it never happened as he wasn't medically cleared. Because even though it seems like all the horrific things he did to his body over his career might have cancelled each other out, at that point even a slight breeze could have... Indestructible. Point is, the last time we ever saw Mick Foley in his wrestling gear, he was in the Royal Rumble 2012, sock jousting with Santino Marella, and while sure, that is absolutely one aspect of Mick Foley, if he's going to ride off into the sunset, I can think of a few things I'd rather see the hardcore legend get up to that isn't essentially Muppets on a budget. I feel pretty confident in saying that I can do it better because I'm a smartass, and also because WWE didn't even really do it. He just sort of announced his retirement, then they brought him back as GM again, then they fired him, and then he came back for a night to introduce the 24/7 Championship in 2019, which was the title belt equivalent of a Looney Tunes episode played on triple speed with the sound turned all the way up, and also every time you watched a match with a 24/7 title in it, someone came round to your house and pissed on one of your pets, which isn't dangerous, it's just confusing and annoying and makes your life way more about piss than you thought it was gonna be. Like, you expect a little bit of piss because life is hard and occasionally involves some piss, but this is just so much more piss than you originally thought. It's just so much piss! So I'm just going to say off the bat, if it was honestly up to me and wouldn't be a gigantic cop-out, I think the hardcore match at WrestleMania 22 was the right time, right place, right opponent. The Rated R superstar got his, oh, I'm such an adult me, look at me, shag me missus on telly. Is that me anatomical butthole? Don't make me angry or I might just say penis gimmick, legitimized by the one true right of adulthood in WWE, and like The Rock, Triple H and Orton before him, he went up against Mick Foley and survived. Mick then could have got to go out on his back at WrestleMania in front of 17,000 people doing a spot that is legitimately one of the best in the history of WrestleMania. All they had to do was set it up as his retirement match beforehand. Job done. And Mick never wrestles again. I said he never wrestles again. Stop wrestling Ric Flair, Mick. Fucking stop it. And he can pop up to say hello every so often. Hi there. I'm Santa Claus, but otherwise he gets by on a ridiculously large WWE pension because he jumped off Hell in a Cell for the business. Fucking pay the man. However, just saying do that, it's a bit weak, and Leith the Squirrel has commissioned a story, so the question then is twofold. First of all, when? When is the right time to say goodbye to Mick Foley? I mean, he's a hardcore legend, so really you want it to be in a hardcore match, but at a period of time where Mick wouldn't immediately shatter into 1,000 pieces doing a flat back bump. And the second question is, to paraphrase every owl, should be the one to retire him. In my mind, I have 3 real candidates for who can carry on the legacy of Mick Foley, and much like the man himself, they're split into 3 distinct traits. You've got the dude love side of Mick Foley, a lovable, hairy schlub who means well, loses often, but loves each and every one of us, aka Sami Zayn. You've got Mankind, a sad barrel of a lunatic who has trouble keeping friends and spends much of his life plummeting to his doom through endless furniture, aka Kevin Owens. And you've got Cactus Jack, a seemingly unkillable psychopath who's fueled by blood and screams, aka Jon Moxley. Not Dean Ambrose, because that name is about as hardcore as a pot of double cream. Jon goddamn Moxley. And honestly, I know which way you think I'm going, but despite Mox's insistence on cosplaying as the elevator from The Shining every fucking match he has, I truly see Kevin Owens as the long-term successor to Mick Foley. Funny, unpretentious, ruthless, and willing to do just the worst things to themselves in ways that are more creative than they are just gory. Plus, I don't want to mess with The Shield. It's one of the greatest bits of long-term booking of the 2010s. So fuck it. Gonna have to fudge some dates in this one and ignore some doctor's warnings, but this is called fantasy booking, goddammit. So let's all do this and tell the story of Kevin Owens ending Mick Foley's career in a who can do the biggest oh no match. So in this world, Kevin Steen leaves Ring of Honor after losing a ladder war and his Ring of Honor title to El Generico at Final Battle 2012, bringing their 3-year feud to its end and giving the future orphanage director Generico a final victory over the man who ruined, repaired, and ruined his life, and would do so forever, rinse repeat. Beyond that, this story starts at the 2013 Royal Rumble. Mick Foley hasn't been seen in a year. He turns up for one more time, again for a comedy spot. Mick enters and stands face to face with Santino Marella, Mick's successor in WWE. Santino also wears a sock on his hand. Fuck off. Mick comes face to face with Santino, and like the year before, they both reach for their socks. Only this time, Santino pulls out Mr. Socko, and Foley pulls out the Cobra. They look confused and shrug and put their socks on. Santino hits the mandible claw on Foley. Foley pushes him away, hits the Cobra on Santino, then shoves him out of the ring, still holding on to Mr. Socko, pulling it off Morella's hand as he sails over the ropes. Mick's eliminated shortly thereafter, and as WrestleMania season approaches, he's announced for the WWE Hall of Fame. Around the same time, it's announced that the most recent Ring of Honor champion Kevin Steen has signed with WWE and is now calling himself Kevin Owens, after his son, Owen Owens. We fast forward to WrestleMania season and the Hall of Fame ceremony. So Foley takes to the stage and is about to launch into his lovable stand-up routine when Kevin Steen crashes the ceremony, runs onto the stage, pushes down Mick, pushes down Terry Funk, who you know is going to make a real fucking meal out of it, the beautiful retirement-dodging son of a bitch who, despite first retiring in the 1980s, kept wrestling until 2017. Seriously, Terry Funk's first retirement match, official retirement match, billed as a retirement match, happened a year before Sami Zayn was fucking born. Owens removes Foley's Hall of Fame ring, hits him with it, and uses it to beat away security and the occasional front row wrestler who tries to make it to the stage to stop this madness from happening. However, before anyone else can reach him, Owens picks up Foley and pile drivers him onto the stage before being dragged off by the cops and a horde of WWE producers. Mick is taken out of the ceremony on a stretcher and finally allows something to happen at the Hall of Fame, otherwise known as the sweetest and dullest night of the year. Oh, something nice is happening to a pro wrestler. Why would we ever want something nice to happen to a pro wrestler? I am joking. I am joking. Some of the wrestlers are very old and very nice, and I don't mind when they have nice things. I'm only joking. I promise. After WrestleMania, Owens gets a proper chance to introduce himself, revealing that he spent his entire signing bonus to make bail. He says, "But I don't want to tell you about me. I want to tell you about Mick Foley. I want to tell you about the man that I grew up watching. The hardcore legend. The man who made me believe that people who looked like me could become WWE champion, who flew off the cell so that a generation of young wrestlers could kill their careers just trying to capture a fraction of the spectacle that Mick Foley pioneered." But who is Mick Foley today? Mick Foley is a punchline. Mick Foley is a prop comic. Mick Foley is a Santa Claus wrapped in a grandfather wrapped in a joke. I will not let you play sock puppets for the children. I will not let you smile through your missing teeth as you piss away your legacy. I will not let you have a nice day. I will make them remember who you really are, or I will kill you trying, Mick. The laughter stops here. This is a battle of eras, a fight between past and future, a war for the lost art of hardcore wrestling in a PG world. Where in the world PG world. Santino Marella is Kevin Owens' first opponent. The man who epitomizes comedy in wrestling. Owen beats him reet up, powerbombing him onto the ring apron, get it over very quickly as a super move and have Santino be taken out on a stretcher. This leads to Extreme Rules and a hardcore match between Kevin Owens and Terry Funk. You know he'd do it, disrespecting Foley to Funk, telling Funk that he's glad. Kevin Owens is glad that Mick is still in hospital, calling Terry pathetic for still hanging around wrestling despite his broken body, saying, "You're not a legend. You're a cautionary tale." In that hardcore match, Kevin Owens proves that he is a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world as he brings out the barbed wire baseball bat, leathers Funk with it, and pins him after a fairly one-sided affair. The feud continues with Foley notable in his absence. He's training, getting healthy. Please get healthy. But Kevin Owens holds up the feud by himself by continually, violently attacking his opponents, running down Mick Foley on the mic and calling him out. Santino Marella returns to attack Kevin Owens and actually gets a chance to wrestle a serious street fight on pay-per-view at Payback, showing an extra dimension to his character, wrestling in street clothes, suplexing Owens onto a stack of chairs. There doesn't have to be socks involved in this one. Needless to say, Owens wins again after yet another apron powerbomb. Kevin Owens continues to call out Foley, this time doing a Mick Foley, "This is your death" segment, parodying the infamous "This is your life" segment that Foley did for The Rock. He brings out 3 jobbers, each dressed like a face of Foley, Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack, and brutalizes them all in different ways. This leads to Money in the Bank 2013, Owens having a mini feud with Randy Orton, who crashes the "This is your death" segment, coming to Mick's defense, because after all, who knows how goddamn tough Mick Foley is better than Randy Orton. Ooh, you poor back though. Owens is in the main event ladder match. He low blows Orton, hits him with a powerbomb, then climbs the ladder only for it's Mick Foley's music, and then while Owens is distracted, Randy Orton pushes the ladder with Kevin Owens on it over. He goes through loads of fucking tables, and then Randy Orton reaches up and he wins Money in the Bank because I'm making it all work. This leads to our main push into SummerSlam. Kevin Owens and Mick Foley finally share the ring on Raw. Kevin tries to tell him that he's doing all of this out of love for Foley, that he wants Mick to end his career on a high, that he wants him to be the hardcore legend, not a figure of fun. He challenges Mick to a match at SummerSlam, a hardcore match, but Foley refuses and walks away. Kevin won't take no for an answer. A few weeks out from SummerSlam, Owens storms down to the ring, forcibly bringing with him a figure with a black bag over their head. He takes the figure and handcuffs them to the ring ropes, and then picks up a microphone. History lesson. Back to the days of ECW, where Mick Foley truly made a name for himself. Once upon a time, a fan brought a sign to the ring that read, "Kane Dewey." Kane Dewey. Dewey is Mick Foley's son, and that sign sent Mick Foley mad. And overnight, Cactus Jack, that lunatic, became Kevin Owens' hero. So if you're not going to show these people, Mick, who you are, perhaps you'll show your son. And Kevin lifts up the bag, and it's Dewey Foley, Mick's now 21-year-old son. Kevin goes under the ring, takes out a kendo stick, and proceeds to cane Dewey over and over again until Mick Foley finally runs down, no music, and attacks Owens. He's screaming, "You want me? You want the real me? You sick son of a bitch! You got me! As Mick tries to free his son though, Owens low blows him, takes a Mr. Socko from his pocket, places the Mr. Socko on Mick Foley's hand, and then smashes his hand repeatedly with a chair. See you at SummerSlam. On the go-home show before SummerSlam, Mick comes to the ring. He has a white cast on his hand. He talks about how this will be his final match. He doesn't want to be this guy anymore, but Owens won't stop until he steps into the ring one last time. As he expresses doubts, out comes Terry Funk to remind Mick Foley just who the hell he is. He runs down their history in Japan, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. He talks about Foley as the man who lost an ear in Germany and kept on going. Mick nods, draws a Mr. Socko on his cast, and tells Owen he's going to get the best and the worst of Mick Foley in California. Have a nice day. And that's Mick Foley's retirement match at SummerSlam. Him in his traditional flannel overshirt versus Kevin Owens in a hardcore match, and it's an absolute war. Thumbtacks, barbed wire, and tables. Kevin Owens takes a sickening suplex onto Thumbtacks, but still gets up. Foley rolls under the ring, then Kevin Owens drags him out. Foley is there on all fours. Kevin Owens gets a chair and he strikes him, but Foley no-sells. He strikes him again, and again, and again, but again, Foley no-sells the chair shots, and he sits up to reveal he's wearing a Cactus Jack t-shirt. He pushes Owens into the corner and goes the da-da, 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 repeated punches in the corner with the cast on his hand before he rips the cast off his hand so he can do the bang bang finger gesture. He hits the double arm DDT for a very near fall. Foley sets up a barbed wire board near the stage. Him and Kevin Owens fight over it, teetering on the edge. Instead of Mr. Socko, Foley brings out the original leather half glove that Mankind used for years and locks in the mandible claw. But just as Owens is fading away, he lifts up Mick and both men plummet off the stage through the barbed wire table. Owens crawls over Mick, gets the cover, and it's counted 1, 2, 3. Owens stands over Foley, battered and bloody, looking almost remorseful in that unique way that Kevin Owens is capable of, that oh, the dark folly of man, 1,000-yard stare when he's just done something truly terrible to a good friend. He does it a lot. Mick Foley's being attended to by doctors. He's placed on a medical stretcher. He's about to be wheeled out of the building, but Owens returns. Instead of attacking Mick further, he attacks all the medical staff. Bang, bang, fuck your doctorate. He drives everyone away. And he just stands there in front of Foley, lying on the stretcher. He gestures to Mick, who very slowly gets off the stretcher and stands on his own 2 feet. He's inducted into the Hall of Fame again in 2014, this time properly and surrounded by bodyguards, just to make sure. Kevin Owens uses this win as his huge breakout moment, launching him into a vicious heel run. I think Kevin Owens could have wrestled and lost against Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 using that hardcore legend connection. He could have been the perfect post-WrestleMania 30 opponent for Daniel Bryan. Just saying. When Sami Zayn finally got to the main roster and Kevin Owens finally betrays him, Owens could have been established as a psycho to provide a great jumping on point for the decade-long on and off and on again feud between the two Canadians beating the poutine out of each other. Ultimately though, Mick Foley gets to ride off into the sunset, his hardcore legacy intact, knowing that he's passed the torch, except this torch is a barbed wire baseball bat, burning forever in his memory. And that's how I would book Mick Foley's retirement. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks again to Leeth the Squirrel for commissioning this over on patreon.com/Adam Blompier. I have been Adam from BlampCo Incorporated. Get back to work.